Hey boys, welcome back to some Nrl Supercoach. It's going to be a bit weird, this video, because there's probably going to be two intros because I'm probably too lazy to cut the second intro out. But I recorded the pre-lockout video and I completely forgot to go through questions and answer them. And I was thinking about just putting this on the end of that video, but I thought, no, I've rambled on. I rambled on for about 50 minutes in that video, and, there's probably less likely people are going to watch the whole 50 minutes, so I thought I'll chuck the question and answers at the start of the video, and then, after this, it'll get into the regular rabble. We'll start yapping about everything else, but let's get into some comments from the last video, because there's definitely a few ones I'd like to go through. So Mr. Callio talks about Karapani as a downgrade option. Now, he also mentions that Arthur's could be back pretty soon, so it does sort of rule out Karapani. But I did see that comment and I thought, you know what, I don't mind that option. I've seen a few people float that around, but I gotta be honest, just the fact that, he's just no certainty to play 19. If Karapani was locked in to play, obviously, the first, well, no, he doesn't play the first bye anyway, but if he was locked in to play the third bye and then be enough option, I don't hate that idea, honestly, but the fact that Jesse Arthurs could slot back in, Corey Oates is out this week, but you still got Dean Mariner, who's on one wing, and, I mean, I guess there's always the chance that, Cobbo will be out and Walsh, so there's still a little bit of viability to the Karapani play. Personally, I just think there's my strategy. It's probably a little bit too early to sort of nuff out. And Karapani, he's looked good and he could be a good scorer, but I think there's still good money to make in the center wing. I definitely don't hate the idea of just having 7 good center wing options, but I don't hate, Cobbo will be out, Walsh should be out, so they'll need a fullback, they'll need a center, and if Oates is out as well, I think Karapani definitely could retain the spot, so I don't hate the idea, but and obviously it's a little bit different to the Hopewade play, because Hopewade is obviously just fullback, so it's a little bit more you don't want to nuff out a fullback. Obviously, you got to then trade him up to a gun at some stage. But a center wing, you can definitely not have the full 7 allotment if you want to have some money spare. Also, Mr. Callio, would you play Finu over Terrell Mate or KPP? I definitely wouldn't play Finu over Kai Pearce-Paul. The Knights do have Penrith. I mean, that's a tough one. That's tough. I don't know. At the moment, I'm playing May, Finu, and Kai Pearce-Paul. Obviously, Finu has a Titans, so there's a bit more upside for Finu. He's definitely got way less base than Kai Pearce-Paul, so you know what, I don't hate the idea of going a punt on Finu over Pearce-Paul, because sort of on average, Finu 45 to 50 points, Pearce-Paul 60 points, right? That's sort of what they've been going at, so basic average, if that's what happens again, you miss out on about 15 points, right? But I think the upside of Finu, he can definitely, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Haas, Caesar, and Coruscant, I think there's a bit more upside with Finu this week than Kai Pearce-Paul. I don't know. I think the Knights might struggle against the Penrith Panthers, especially in attack. I don't see them really carving up at all. So I don't hate that, but I don't mind. I don't know. That's a tough one. Terrell May, I also don't mind sitting. That's why I don't, I could be looping this week potentially, so I talk more about that as well in the video, but Terrell May, I don't mind dropping, and out of the two, I probably would drop Terrell May if I was going to loop, because of the forward pack the Roosters have. He might get less minutes, so you know what, I think out of those three, I would go Finu and Kai Pearce-Paul just for the upside. And Terrell May, like, it's probably less likely he's going to score a try this week, right? But I don't know. It's a tough one. I think it's just one of those 50-50s that it could go either way. Paddy Connor, thoughts on Ronaldo for David Armstrong? Good draw coming up. I mean, yes, I like that a lot. I talk about a bit more about it in the video, but for me, it was a toss-up between Dallin and Mulatalo. I think it does depend on buying numbers. Obviously, Mulatalo plays 19, doesn't play 16, but 16 looks pretty good for people. Dallin plays 16, but not 19. I think Mulatalo is a great pickup. Personally, I'm probably looking at Mulatalo and picking him up potentially after the second bye. So he'll play this week. He might make a bit of cash. Then he has a bye. And then I might look to pick him up in 17. But if you go early on Mulatalo, I still like it. Like, I think he is a guy that can just go massive. Like, Hines and Trindle, the combo that was killing it at the start of the year with Mulatalo, they're back together. It's a good matchup against the Dolphins. I think Mulatalo is a great pickup, honestly. I don't hate that at all. And I think Armstrong is a sell. If you don't have to sell him this week, it's not the worst thing in the world, but I do think Armstrong is a sell. I don't see him getting back into the team with everything going on, but we could be, I don't know, could be wrong. Hopefully, yeah, so Tyler, hopefully a bounce back week. Hopefully, I'm praying. Do you think it's crazy that I'm considering Tarpany over AFB? Or would that just be silly? Also, who would your number one fullback target? Oh, we'll talk about AFB v Tarpany. I mean, they're both, like, yeah, it's sort of annoying because it is sort of one or the other, because they both play round 16 and they both don't play round 19. I'm pretty sure that's correct. Yeah, they both don't play round 19, so I do think it's one or the other. Like, I don't hate the Tarpany play. I think the Tarpany play is definitely good. I think it's shown that Nrl Blake is the better option long term, but Tarpany for what's he like, over 100k cheaper? I think Tarpany is good value. I think Tarpany is very good value, and I think without a try at the moment, Tarpany's probably scoring better. Well, he is. He's definitely scoring better than AFB if AFB doesn't score a try. So I like the Tarpany play. I don't mind just going a bit pottish there, saving 100k and just banking Tarpany safe points. You know what you're going to get. He's obviously going well over this little period, so if he can keep that up, then yeah, it's a great play. And I think I don't mind the Tarpany play at all. Also, who would your number one fullback target if you were getting one this week or next week? We're singing CNK, but no, round 19 sucks. Yeah, again, like there's the round 19. So this is why, for me, I talk about it again in the video, but I am not picking up a fullback for Drinkwater this week. Obviously, going CNK is very appealing, but we don't, like, it's just so much uncertainty. If Latrell Mitchell misses game 2 of Origin, he is 100%, I think, the best target, because he plays 16. He also plays 19 against the Dolphins. Mitchell is by far the best fullback option to get in next week, if you can afford it. There's also the consideration about Dylan Edwards and Tedesco. Again, I talk more about this in the video, but I just think there's too much uncertainty. If you can hold the trade, I probably would hold and just wait to see which one of out of Dylan Edwards, Mitchell, Tedesco, or even if you still want to go like a CNK for round 16. But I think, yeah, if Mitchell or Tedesco miss out on Origin, or even Edwards, if you can afford Edwards, which would be tough, but if you could, I think for me, Mitchell is probably number one just because of the buy coverage, but we don't know yet with Origin. So I'm holding the trade. I still like CNK. If you could make it work to go CNK this week and then trade your other fullback to a Mitchell, or if you already have Mitchell, that's great. But if you don't, then if you can make it work to trade next week for him or a Tedesco, then sure, but for me, the way my team's set up, I'm just going to hold off and wait to see who gets who gets picked in Origin Game 2, because there's so much ramifications that will come from that for the fullback option in my mind. But yeah, CNK, he won't let you down, that's for sure. He just doesn't have the ceiling of those other guys in my mind. Sad Supercoacher, the predicament of straight captaining Nico is real. Yeah, I talk about the captain, it's a fair bit into the video. I ramble a fair bit, but I get to the captain vice captains, and for me, I'm definitely vice captaining Hines, but yeah, there is a temptation to captain, but for me, I can't take the risk of him doing his calf in the 5 minutes and just get copping a shocker. So temptation is there, but I just can't do it. And then final little question. Looking to go Armstrong to Mulatalo, but only have 6k after going Chan to Fafita last week, so need to downgrade. I mean, that's a good upgrade, Chan to Fafita last week for sure. Current options are Galvin to either Plath or Campbell. Plath has Trav Duel and Campbell has goal kicking, or just nuff out Sam Hughes. That's a tough one. Again, you don't have to get Mulatalo this week. Like, I talked about it just before. I don't mind the idea of, well, I don't hate nothing out Sam Hughes, but he does cover next week, and you never know. He could get a sneaky try and score 60, which would be very valuable points, right? I don't mind nothing him if you got like 3 other good front row options. I also, I love the Plath pickup, but for me, again, I just want to wait to see what's happening with Galvin, because Galvin covers the buys so well if he's back. Like, he's so good for buy coverage if he's back playing. So I just want to wait to see. Campbell is a sneaky option, but Tanner Boyd is also in the extended reserves. So if Boyd comes back in, Campbell will 100% lose the goal kicking for Boyd. So that'll be a bit of a pain. I personally, with that, I think just wait. I think just wait on Mulatalo. He will make some. Well, he's not definite to make some cash this week. Like, he might, but I think just wait the trade, because Mulatalo doesn't play next week, and then you can do the trade in round 17. In my mind, if you have to do the trade this week, I think. Oh, fuck, I don't know. I probably would say Galvin to Plath and go Armstrong to Mulatalo. But if Galvin's back like next week, like, you definitely want Galvin. Maybe lean towards nothing Sam Hughes and going Armstrong to Mulatalo. But my number one tip is just hold the trade. Just wait till round 17. Mulatalo is not going to get that much more expensive. He could go big this week, but he's not going to get out of reach after this week. So I think hold the trade till after round 16, because the Sharks don't play 16, but they play 19 and they play 17. So I think holding the trade for you is probably the best option. But yeah, that'll wrap up the question and answer. Obviously, like I said, it's going to be a bit strange. There'll be another intro coming up, but yeah, watch the rest of the video, enjoy, and that's it. Hey boys, welcome back to some more Nrl Supercoach. It's going to be the pre-lockout for round 15. A bit more of a deeper dive into the bye. See how we're looking for next week. Also, I want to have a look at 17, because I got to be honest, I sort of forgot about round 17 a little bit. So I don't even know what I'm looking like for that round. And then we'll also have a quick look at the final bye as well, round 19, which I still think is going to be a bit of a shit fight to get a good, I don't know, even like 10, 11 players maybe. I'm not sure. We'll have a look. We'll also look at options as well for a trade. We might still be saving our trades this week, which I don't mind, but there's still some good, there's some great pickups. There are some very, very good pickups. So first off, I did want to say, I did see NRL Physio did tweet that Tom Trbojevic, they're still saying that he is, well, he said that he will be back to training next week for hopefully being back like by round 18, which I think I don't know, like that'll be, let's say he's back to train, you know, the week of round 16, so there's a couple of weeks of full training, I guess. So I guess the timeline works. He did also say that apparently they're toying with the idea of not playing Tom Trbojevic at fullback when he comes back. Now that is very interesting because originally I was like, oh wait, maybe I should just take the punt on Hopewade, but then I was like, no, Hopewade won't stay at fullback because obviously Trbojevic, if they ended up doing that, are they going to? I mean, honestly, they probably have to after a certain point. Like, I don't know, maybe they will, but I think he'll go to center, and I mean, Kohler. I mean, they could put. I mean, obviously they could either put Kohler or Garrick to fullback at that point. I think they prefer Kohler. I mean, obviously at the moment they're going with the young guy in Hopewade, but I think that's just because Kohler can do a better job in the centers than probably Hopewade can. So if they end up going that route, then picking up Kohler, I think for people that are holding Kohler, I think definitely keep hold of him just in case. He's obviously not going great in the centers, but in the off chance that he does come back and he goes to the centers, I think Kohler's probably the man to go to fullback to replace Hopewade, because obviously Kohler's not going to get dropped from the team. That's insane. So it could happen, and I think Hopewade, I'm still like somewhat tempted because you'll get like 200. Excuse me, you'll get 250 with the downgrade from Armstrong this week. He'll play round 16. He plays round 17, so he gets 2 good price rises. Then they have the buy in round 18. If he could just hold on, if Tommy was just gone for that 1 extra week for round 19, I would jump all over Hopewade to cover both buys and be a great downgrade option. But there is also some great other options. We'll have a look, because there are some very, very good options in the center wing for quite decent value. And when I say quite decent, I mean extremely decent value. So let's price it here. Obviously got the big guns. I mean, Azarko and Meany are still on the radar, I guess. Azarko, I don't know. Maybe next week. I keep looking at Azarko. He's got 102 break even against the Sharkies, so you would expect him to drop some cash. The scores, he obviously had a bit of a run here. He had a bit of a run here, but they've been pretty mediocre for the season. He covers both buys, which is the beauty of it, but I don't think I'm going to go. I don't think I'm going to go with Jermaine. He's still not the worst, but I don't think so. But going down, they are pretty cheap. The players of interest. I mean, Connor Tracy doing some good stuff at fullback. I mean, a starting fullback in your centre wing, it's always been a good one. I don't think his average is only like 59. It's not the greatest, even with a couple of big scores. Going down, Paul Alamotti, no. So we're getting to the price now. I mean, Sofa Longo, I mean, Papenhausen apparently is back pretty soon. I still think Farlongo, for anyone that picked him up, he should keep the wing spot for the bye, even if Papenhausen's back next week, because Coates will be out and Remus Smith, well, he should be back, but they still got Warbrick who's out, so I think Farlongo will still keep a spot in the team, but we'll see. Ronnie Mulatalo is one guy of interest. He's a tick under 500k. He scored a 31, so he's probably got, it's a 59 break even. It's nothing crazy. So against the Dolphins, he could definitely go big, but he's not going to make like a bunch of cash. He's obviously been terrible. I mean, in real life NRL, he's been still pretty good. You just look at he was on such a heater too, like 87, 116, 56, 78, 110, 94, and then And then coinciding with the time that, I don't know exactly when Trindle got stood down, but it was definitely around this time. He went 50, 37, 63, 45, 22, 73, 31. So he's at a juicy price. They obviously don't play 16. So again, I do love the Mulatalo play, but you don't have to pick him up this week. I guess the thing is that he is it's a good matchup this week. Yeah. And I guess also, like, future planning for the future buy, saving a trade, because they have a good... I do like Mulatalo as well, just because the draw is really good. It's not the best buy coverage, because obviously 17, 18, 19, but then they don't play 20, the backup buy either. They have like 2 buys pretty close in together, which is a bit annoying. But, I mean, Dogs are hard this year, so not great. But Gold Coast, West, Cowboys, Rabbits, Gold Coast again, Newcastle Dragons, Warriors, Manly. That's a great little draw. So I love the Mulatalo play, but you can wait till after round 16 if you want. I mean, there's Tolotau Kula, so I mean, he's been... Oh, I just can't imagine. I'd be absolutely fucking shitting myself if I picked up Kola. And I was keen on him when he got named a fullback, then he copped the AC injury. And now he hasn't played fullback, and he's been absolutely dreadful. Well, it was his first game back against Manly, so understandable. But yeah, 79 in his one game at fullback, and then he didn't get another look. But yeah, if Tommy does come back in round 18 and he shifts to the center and Cola's at fullback, I'd be going Kola like 110%. Like there's not even a doubt in my mind, because he's definitely not going to be that expensive even in a couple of weeks. So I got my eye on a Kola, that's for sure. Greg Marju, Jesus Christ, he cannot. He's just not doing much of anything. Dallin Watani-Zelezniak is the other guy that I am pretty keen on. A 74. He's obviously started to make a bit of cash again. He's bottomed out. He's got a couple of okay scores. They take on Melbourne, which is not... It's just not Melbourne of the past. Like Melbourne, the last couple of years, especially this year, they are conceding a lot of tries. So I'm not concerned about the Melbourne pickup this week. He's got a 5 break even. They cover the first bye, the second bye. Sorry about that. So I mean, it's a pretty good little run too. I mean, Melbourne, like on paper, it doesn't look the best, but Melbourne haven't been that great defensively. Gold Coast in the bye is a big one, because like, I mean, that's a big game to target for sure. And then Broncos in the backup game. That's going to be a tough game for the Broncos after Origin. The Dogs, obviously, again, the Dogs are tough, so don't love it. But then, don't play third bye. Raiders, Tigers. It's a pretty good run home for the Warriors. Not too shabby. That'll be their... They're going to buy in round 27, I guess. But yeah, I like the Dallin play as well. So there's a couple of interesting ones. Because if I'd want to go... If you waited, you could pick up Dallin this week and then wait till after the second bye to pick up Mulatalo. But who would I want to trade for Mulatalo? I guess Gagai. Gagai potentially. I mean, Gagai obviously can go at any point as well, but he is a number for the buy, so I'm not rushing to get him out. But if they're not that far away in price, it would be a nice little upgrade, that's for sure. And he's a pretty obvious choice. But I'm still not sold on my options in that case. But moving on, so fullbacks is also a very interesting topic here. So there's a couple of... so there's some big ones, right? Obviously, I love the Chan's potential pickup, but I think it's going to be hard for me to get... So I know a lot of people are trading like Drinkwater this week. Personally, I think I'm just not going to do that. Like, I get the trade of Drinkwater to Chance. Chance is going to make some cash, and Drinkwater is going to lose a bit of cash. Like, most probably. It's not definitely going to happen, but it probably will. So I get the trade. I still think Drinkwater's not a bad play this week against the Raiders. I still, you know, in Canberra, it's a tough trip, but Drinkwater, he can do some good stuff. He can still score 100. He can go big against the best team still. He's one of those type of players. So I'm not like that keen to trade Drinkwater out this week. I feel like it's a bit of a wasted trade. But then next week is a big week for fullbacks. Obviously, I mean, we'll look now. And it obviously all depends on who plays Origin and who does not. So we've really got 3 fullbacks of potential here. You've got, so Dylan Edwards and Tedesco are like the 2 fighting it out. What's going to happen? I honestly don't know. Like, my hunch is that Edwards is going to get the spot back because, well, if he plays this week and he gets through fine, I think Edwards is the man to get the fullback spot for game 2. But again, it's not guaranteed. Like, I don't know. Do they do that? Do they put him straight back in? I think they do. He was the first choice. It was just a bit of bad luck. A little quad strain, a little quad like tightness. I don't know. It wasn't anything too serious. So I think Edwards gets picked, but I can't go on Tedesco this week. Like, just in the off chance that they decide to keep Tedesco for game 2, just to not break up the team too much from game to game. I would understand that as well, just for this series. Tedesco, he's obviously got a low break even. It's not too low actually. Obviously, I was expecting a bit lower with that big score last start, but only a 43 break even. Again, he's likely to make a bit of cash, but shouldn't be too crazy. So I think I just can't take the risk of getting in Tedesco this week. Like, trading Drinkwater to Tedesco, I think is just fraught with danger. Just on the off chance that Teddy does retain the spot. If Dylan Edwards doesn't get picked, I mean, it'll be tough to get him in. He's still at a very high price. He's got an 81 break even. He'll probably hit that. He'll probably make more cash this week. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know. I'll probably try to bring him in next week, but I don't know. I don't know if I'll be able to. If I'm honest, it's going to be a little tight, and I don't want to rip up my whole team just to get Edwards in, because at the end of the day, there's going to be other fullbacks after the bye period that are going to be as good as Edwards, and when Cleary comes back, he'll get the goal kicking back. So Edwards is great, but it's going to be hard to swing. It's going to be hard to swing. I do have money in the bank, obviously, but yeah, it still could be tough. So Edwards, Tedesco, interesting one. I still think Tedesco will be available. Again, like, do you want to pick him up though? The Roosters obviously have a good draw after that bye last week. They don't play 19 like a lot of teams, but they play 16 against the Dogs, a depleted Dogs team, which will be handy. Tigers, Dragons, don't play 19. But then, I mean, if you got Tedesco, you're probably just holding for the season. He's looked pretty good all year anyway. His scores have been, pretty rock solid. He's just had a couple of... he's only really had one low score where he got... I think he got concussed in that game. But yeah, 41 and a 47, his lowest scores. Like, he's been pretty darn good. He's been great this year, honestly. So I would like Tedesco. And then Latrell Mitchell's the other big one. If he doesn't get picked for game 2, I'm going to be upset. I'm going to be mad. I'm going to be mad for sure, because if he doesn't get picked, like, he is almost... He's a must-have, in my opinion. He plays both of the major buys. They've got a pretty damn good draw. I mean, even this Broncos game, I'm pretty scared as a non-owner. But Manly in the bye, don't play 17, so it's a little tricky, but then 18 against Para, Dolphins in 19, Tigers. Yeah, Mitchell could go, he could go huge. So it's going to be like, that's a tricky one. If Mitchell doesn't get selected and Tedesco also doesn't get selected, trying to get both of them in is like, it probably will be the play, but it'll definitely require a boost and a downgrade of somebody, which again, it's not the worst thing in the world. I've got a boost. Well, actually, I don't need a boost. I get three trades in the major buy anyway. So I think if worst case scenario, and that's the play, I think that is the play to do. So yeah, I don't mind that. And that also probably, I mean, that probably puts a kibosh on Chance. I do love the Chance play, but I still think, like, Latrell, I still think Tedesco, even like when, I mean, Chance is great. Like, he's been so good this year, but I just think some of the other fullbacks are a bit, they just have a higher ceiling than Chance. I love the pickup, but I think I'm going to bypass it. And the Hopewade play, again, with that potential, I mean, it would make cash. Like, that wouldn't be the worst. So let's just, you know what, let's just have a quick, you know what, let's have a look at the money situation. Okay, let's just have a look at how it would look on the money front. If we bought in Hopewade, like, worst case scenario, this is like a 1 week play, which again, it's not what I love to do, but okay, you make 250k off the trade. I'll have 460 in the bank, right? So we'll just confirm that. We'll have a quick little squiz at this. All right, and then Hopewade playing this week, round 15, -63 break even. They're only projecting him to score 38. I think that's probably pretty under, and that's going to get him 80k. So let's just say he's going to make 100k this week. I mean, yeah, we'll say 100k. I think he can score pretty well against the Dragons. I mean, maybe not, but we'll say he makes 100k. So he'll be 300,000. Then getting him up with the 450. So that's 750. It is close. Like, it is close. Like, if we had to next, like, this is just talking like in terms of next week, trading like Drinkwater to Tedesco and then Hopewade to Mitchell. Obviously, we're short. Like, we're definitely short, but we could just downgrade somebody, right? We could downgrade. We could fucking nuff out one of our front rowers, honestly. I don't think this is like the best play, though. I just don't think it is. I think it's a little bit... Yeah, because if we nuff out someone, we're probably going to make enough cash as it is. I think the Hopewade play... Yeah, it's a little bit... It's just a little bit tricky. For the if we had more trades, honestly, I would pull the trigger and I'd be like, you know what, worst case scenario, we trade him out to one of the gun fullbacks in 1 week or 2 weeks. It'll waste one trade, but it's not the worst thing in the world. But the fact that we are running low on trades, I can't be this sort of flippant with our trades. We gotta rein it in a little bit. So you know what? I do love the what's it called? I love the potential of Hopewade there as a bottom dollar cheapy fullback that's looking pretty good, and he plays the buys, but yeah, I think it's just a little bit too dicey. So we're not gonna do that. So what else are we going to do? There's still options. I still could go to Dallin. I still don't mind the Dallin, just going straight to Dallin. Obviously, I've talked about Max Plath, but I think, yeah, I'm holding the Plath because either we're going to go Smithies up to Plath next week. I mean, even that, like, yeah, I probably would. Because Smithies, he is a number. I don't know. We'll work it out. But I think Smithies up to Plath. Or I'm expecting Galvin to miss a few more weeks, so I don't mind just going Galvin. I don't mind going Galvin to Plath next week as well if Galvin's going to be out for a bit longer. I don't hate that play either. So, yeah, I think we wait on Max Plath. I don't mind picking him up, but it is what it is. Jane Brayley, I mean, we're just going to hold him for now. Like, I know Brendan Hands, it's a little bit up in the air still, so I'm not that keen on Brendan Hands. If we look at... Yeah, I'm probably going to... I don't know. I probably do bring in Dallin. I would like a piece of that Warriors backline. They're starting to fire up. Obviously, Sean Johnson back in. You know, they could go on a bit of a run, and I would like to have a little bit of piece of it. So I think I'm probably leaning towards Dallin. But let's have a look. You know what? Is there anyone else that's like I want to trade to? Not yet. Again, not yet. The fullbacks are just a bit up in the air. I'm happy to hold Drinkwater. I could trade Drinkwater this week. I could. Because I guess the thing about it is that I need to trade Drinkwater next week anyway. Like, there's no if and or buts about trading Drinkwater. So if we go... God, I can't believe Mulatalo's under 500k when he got to such a high price. I mean, I guess fucking the same thing with Dallin. He's 480, but yeah, I think now's the time to bring in Dallin. Like, he could have another shocker. He could go on a bit of a shocking run still, but he's about to make cash. I think it's going to be hard to get him this cheap again. So I like the play, and I think holding Armstrong. I think Armstrong's got to go. I think he does have to go. So I think that's the right play. It also gives me another strong play this week. I know they're taking on Melbourne, but I still like the Dallin play even against Melbourne. I think it's pretty okay. So yeah, we could still trade Drinkwater. But again, like I said, we want to wait to see what fullback doesn't get picked, because it's obviously not ideal because Drinkwater is likely to lose money and all the other fullbacks are going to make a bit of cash. But with the cash we have in the bank, we still got almost 200k. So even if like the worst case happens, we're going to be able to afford either Tedesco or Mitchell if one of those guys doesn't get selected for Origin. We might have to use a bit of cash, but we'll be able to make it happen. That's fine. So let's have a look. I don't think I'm going to make another trade. I think I'm happy with that. I think holding a trade is fine. I honestly do. I think it's fine. Let's have a look at round 16, because I do want to just check on numbers. So we don't have a dummy half. That's fine. We'll have 1, 2, 3. I'll count Karen. He should be back for 16 after the head knock. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll count Smithies because either we'll have Smithies or we'll trade him to Plath. 7, 8. No, well, yeah, we'll count we'll count Galvin, yes, as well, because if he's not playing, then we're trading him to Plath and we're keeping Smithies, so we'll have the number anyway. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, we're fine. We're honestly fine, and we're gonna bring in one gun fullback. So we'll have 16. We'll have 16 for round 16. I guess that then poses the question: do we need to get in Dallin? He definitely plays the backup, right? He definitely plays 17. I think he did, right? He definitely did. Yeah, he does. Yeah, against the Bronx, which is still pretty good. Yeah. I think it's worth it. I mean, let's have a quick We'll look at 17 as well, because this is also very important. So there's no Titans, no Rabbits, and no Seagulls, which is a little tricky. I don't have too many of either side, but that could be a tricky one for people. So we look pretty good, honestly. I mean, hopefully in the backup game, fucking Brayley actually starts. Like, if Robson gets rested again, I don't know. I'm still half tempted to trade Robertson in 16 or Brayley in 16 to somebody. I just don't know. I don't want to waste a trade, but fuck, they pissed me off last week. That's the biggest thing. If Brayley just started and banged out like 40, 50 points, I wouldn't even be considering it. I'd be like, that's fine. But because he played like 30 minutes and got 23 points, I'm like, I need to change the dummy halves, dude. It's not that big a deal. So it's fine. It's fine for now. Unless someone like just jumps out that I'm like, oh, I would love to pick up. It's fine. Yeah, front row will be sweet. The back row, obviously missing Fafita and Fermor. Oh, that's right. I was going to say, no, Fermor, we could trade, but no, he plays 19. So, yeah, we're keeping Fermor. And, I mean, we got Cattell, we got Pierce-Paul. Smithies, again, he could be traded to someone better at some point as well, but we'll have backup there. Halfbacks. Again, it does depend on what happens with Hines as well. Like, if Hines does play Origin 2, there will be a temptation to trade him. Because, I mean, he'll be on the bye anyway, but if he plays game 2, he probably will play game 3 as well, so I'll miss more footy. But I don't know, probably at that point you just hold him and hope people struggle to get him back in, hopefully. We'll have Tyron Wishart anyway for cover as well. If Hines doesn't back up for whatever reason, if he plays Origin game 2. Dylan Brown, Galvin, I mean, we'll see what happens there. All our centre wings play apart from Gagai, so that's sweet. And then, yeah, Garrick doesn't play, but our other fullback that we'll bring in will be. It'll either be, well, it might not be. If Mitchell doesn't play, I think Mitchell is the pickup, so he won't play. But if we pick up like a Tedesco, then he will play the backup. So it depends. It depends what happens here. But 17, we're honestly fine unless something crazy happens. But who cares? Fucking we had it all prepared last time too. The round 14 backup, we were sweet, but it went disastrous. It just went terribly. So who cares? You don't even need a bloody plan, dude. Just get lucky with a couple of big scorers. Round 19, let's have a look at what we're looking at, because yeah, round 19 could be a tricky one, that is for sure. So Brayley, I mean, yeah, he does play 19. Yeah, I don't know. I guess if we do trade Brayley, it'll only be to someone who's going to play 19. I still don't hate the idea of maybe getting in a Brennan Hands. I don't know. I don't know. If we did, Hands does play 19, but yeah, I don't know. We'd only trade him to someone who's going to. Like, a JMK is definitely probably the best, but he is a lot of money, or at least like a good chunk of money. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and obviously we're counting for Fafita. There's every chance of Fafita stuffs us and gets picked in Origin, but I don't know. There must be something going on with him and Billy Slater, because there's no reason why he wasn't in game 1 if he's going to get picked in game 2. That would be fucking mental. But we'll see. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll count Hines. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then Gagai makes 11. It's honestly not that bad. It's not that bad, because again, if we look at round 19, I think a lot of people are going to be in this boat, and it's like, what players do you actually want? I think Mulatalo definitely a potential trade in. But again, if we get in Mulatalo, it's probably for Gagai. But that's fine. I think Gagai, he will have done his job. So if we get in Mulatalo after this second second buy. It's not the worst. Like, who else would I want to trade out? No one really. Like, I know they don't play round 19, but is it really worth it? They do take the Tigers on, so it could be a bit of a bloodbath if Hines is playing. That is for sure. Dolphins, obviously a max player for Jeremy Marshall-King, are pretty good. I think Ewan Aiken is he's still good. He's just expensive. South, I mean, obviously there's some big ones there. I don't know. I still need Cameron Murray watch for game 2. Like, I don't know what's going to happen there. Does he go straight back into the side? He probably does, but Murray's a watch. Mitchell, obviously, if he doesn't play Origin, he's an absolute must. I know people are going Cody Walker, but I talked about this, that I'm not going Cody Walker just because, again, I think Mitchell plays, and without Mitchell in the team, Walker can still score well, but I think his ability is definitely or his high scoring ability is definitely half tied to Mitchell. Like, just the presence of Mitchell just allows so much more freedom for Walker. So I think without Mitchell, Walker will struggle a bit more. I could be wrong on that, but I think that's probably pretty much the case. Any other rabbits? I don't know. I mean, Kalamatangi, I don't know. How's fucking Cook been going? Sharks, like I said, yeah, Mulatalo. Anyone else? I mean, there's a couple of sneaky guys, but nothing crazy. Tigers, we got Fainu. We got Galvin if he plays, but I mean, Api Coruscant, fuck, I am a little bit annoyed that all of a sudden Coruscant's come back into calculations. I don't think I can get Coruscant back in. Obviously, I bought him in. I traded him out when he was at his peak. He missed out on Origin somehow. There's every chance he gets picked for a game as well if they lose the series. So, you never know. There's no real other Tigers that you'd be that keen on. Gold Coast, I mean, we got Firma, we got Fafita. There'll be a couple of pods there, but nothing that you're like, oh, absolutely must-haves. Parramatta, obviously a pretty popular team. Dylan Brown. I mean, Moses is still, interesting. If, I don't know. If Hines does get picked for game 2, do you go Moses in, round 17 if Hines doesn't back up? You could go Moses that round. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, Gutherson, as a pod fullback over the buys, it's just a shame they don't play round 16. They played 13, so Gutherson is a little bit less enticing because generally you want to trade him out after the buys, so you'd only get a couple of weeks out of him. And then, yeah, we got Cartwright. Brennan Hands is potential. Broncos, just not much doing. I don't know, the Broncos just haven't really been Supercoach relevant, barring Payne Haas for a while. I guess Reece Walsh as well, and a Carrigan, but there's not, I don't know, a lot of their outside backs, they do a job, but they're already expensive as is, just no real standouts. Dragons, I mean, obviously Lomax won't be playing, so not too much else doing there. Then Manly, obviously Manly, there's some very popular ones. We already got Garrick. We've only got Garrick. If Tommy, what happens? If Tom, I mean, there's no way they pick Trebojevic. If Trebojevic does come back to fullback in round 18, surely New South Wales don't pick him for Origin in game 3. There's no shot, right? But then he becomes an almost must-have in the bye for round 19. It could be a big decision if you bring in a Tommy if he's playing fullback. But if Cole is there, absolute must-have as well. Anyone else? I mean, their forwards, not too much relevance there. And then the Knights, we already got Kai Pearce-Paul. Armstrong's obviously on the way outer, so, and we got Brayley. Not a whole lot more doing there. It's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough little round 19, but we got some play. We already got 10 without Hines. I think it was 10 players, which isn't terrible. It's not terrible because there's, you know, injuries could happen as well, but we're actually set up not the worst. I thought we potentially could be worse off than that. So, yeah, that's not too shabby. I'm still... Yeah, I think Dallin's the play. Is he? Do we need Dallin? I gotta be honest. I fucking wish Tom Trbojevic was like due back in like round 20. Oh, I'd be all over Hopewade for the 2 buys and being able to just free up some cash. But I think Dallin's a great pickup. I shouldn't be too caught up in it. I mean, like I said, the players we want, Max Plath, I still think is great. Potentially a dummy half. The front row, I mean, yeah, Fanor Blake is obviously great, but like, I don't know. Like, are we even going to bother at this point? He just fucking... I'd want him in, but it's just... The balance of the team, I think, is pretty good. We just need him to not score a couple of tries in a few weeks. That'd be nice. But yeah, everything else looking pretty good. We just wait for next week. Let's look at the dummy halves quickly. What is Marshall King? I know he's pretty... Actually, I don't think he's actually too bad. Yeah, 640. Reed Marnie only got 48. Obviously, people were picking him up. Had a bit of a... last couple of weeks, not the best buy. What did he do in round 13? Actually, I don't even really remember. He got 79 points, so pretty good for people that picked him up for the buys. Obviously 48 last week, but not the worst. Marshall King 640. He's got a 71 break even, so. You know, against the Sharkies, you'd expect that to drop a little bit of cash. He's been on a bit of a run, although he's been pretty consistent. Like, he's been playing big minutes. He hasn't been injured. I don't mind him. He plays 15, 16, 17, misses 18, 19, 20, 21. He's a pretty handy pickup, honestly. I still don't hate him. I just, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Appy Cross. He's at a good price. He's $5.50. I just can't bring in Appy Coruscant again, dude. They take on the Gold Coast, but no, I just can't. I can't do it. No. I think he's a good pickup. If you haven't picked him up already, I think he's a great pickup. Damien Cook, he's 630. He's actually not that cheap. He's had a couple of good games, I think, as Cookie. I guess the question, you could go Cookie as a super pod instead of like a Marshall King. He's been on a run. Like, he's gone 86, 96, 61. Played 68 minutes there. Again, like the Rabbitohs, they have a good fucking buy schedule. What's his break even? It'll be pretty low. Yeah, 51. Hey, he'll get a bit expensive. If he was a bit cheaper, I don't hate the play, but yeah. I think again we're gonna hold off. Wade Egan is very cheap, but just too injury prone. And again, Egan plays 16, doesn't play 17. I don't need more numbers for 16. That's just the bottom line. Crossland, no. Yeah, not too much else doing. So yeah, Brennan Hands there. Scored a 34. His break even, still -4. So he's honestly, if you're not picking up Hands this week, I think he's one you just let go. He's gonna get like not insanely expensive, but he's gonna get a little bit too much for what I think he will dish out. So yeah, I think Hands is a no-go. I think we just hold fucking Brayley. Honestly, like surely that benching, if it's a late benching again this week, so if Phoenix Crossland starts this week again for Brayley, I think I probably do trade him out. I think I do. And who can we afford? I was looking at them. I don't remember who I could afford. Oh, we have 620. Oh, bro, we don't have enough for Marshall King. Maybe we just go down to hands. I don't know. When do they play? When do they play on this? So as long as I can't, dude, I'm blind. So Knights, it's gonna be a little tricky. We'll know if like Lussick is a late inclusion on the bench for hands, but we won't know if Brayley's a late benching. So whatever. Who fucking cares? I'm not playing him anyway. It's fine. So let's get into, before I ramble on too much about meaningless stuff, vice captain and captains. So I think this week is pretty simple. Hines 100% has to have the vice captaincy. There's obviously a little temptation to put the captain on him, but I just can't. I can't afford to have another. I mean, this doesn't obviously guarantee me having a good captain week, but I can't afford. Brother, my heart can't take Hines having a shocker or having a calf issue like 5 minutes of the game, and if I captain him, I can't handle that. So I can't straight captain him. We're gonna vice captain, and our captain, this is a little tricky. I think I'm leaning Fafita. I think just take the safe points of Fafita. I mean, obviously, he didn't have a great game last week. He got that try, but it wasn't one of his best. Like, generally with a try, you expect Fafita to go 100. He just, I don't know, he didn't have a great game. They take on the Tigers. It's a good matchup. Anyone else, I mean, there's obviously Joey Manu coming up against that edge of the Eels. There's Dom Young as a flyer. Even like a Garrick isn't the worst, but I think, yeah, Garrick at 4 points against the Dragons. I don't hate Garrick either, but I think Fafita, please, can Hines just go massive? That would be lovely, because this week it's actually pretty fine for a loop, because I don't mind dropping Terrell May or Finu, honestly. And we got Curran there as a, well, yeah, he's on a bye. He's got injured, but he's on a bye, so we can swap out. I don't know, who would we drop? Probably Finu's up against the Titans. You probably drop Terrell May against the Parramatta boys with that forward pack. I think you drop Terrell May, which I don't mind. I think it's fine. Obviously, he could go well, but he could score like 40, 50 points. That's fine. Then we just have to, as long as Brayley doesn't get benched, he should score like 40. Henry hopefully gets like 40. Smithy's 40. Who else? Fucking... And then the only player to worry about then is Gagai. If Gagai against the Broncos has a shocker, but I don't know. I guess if Hines, just thinking, if Hines goes well and we do loop, do we trade Gagai? No, I don't think you do. I think you just ride it. If Gagai has a shocker, he has a shocker. Fuck it, who cares? He's going to be a number for the buys, so I think just hold him. Just hold him. I don't hate the matchup against the Bronx either. I mean, the Bronx should fire up, but the Rabbitohs attack is looking a lot better, so I don't mind it. They're going right as well a lot more. So, yeah, I think that's what we're leaning towards. I think it's probably the best outcome. If Hines, I'm trying to think, what would I take? Honestly, if he goes like 90 plus, I think I'd take it. I just need some sort of bloody consistency this week. I guess I'm not playing fucking Wishart this week either. Okay. Okay. Now I'm like, fuck, do we even bring in Dallin? Oh. I'm honestly... You know what? You know what? Because I still like the Dallin play, but this means I don't play Wishart, who actually I'm pretty happy to play Wishart. Like they're against the Warriors. The Warriors are obviously coming good, but I think Wishart, I still like the play. He's got good base. His attack is looking good. Melbourne as a whole, like their attack is looking pretty sharp. Defensively not great, but their attack is still good. I actually, you know what? So what what is Chance again? What is Chance? Yeah, I can make money going to Chance. I can make 40k. It's nothing major, but I can make 40k going to Chance. He's been great. He's been really, really good. Yeah, the scores have been really solid. That 140 against Newcastle. I don't remember what game it was, but he played centre in one of these games. But even against Penrith, he played 5'8" and killed it. He doesn't have the ceiling of other fullbacks, but fuck, now I'm torn. I'm like, it's mainly because I don't like Drinkwater's a trade out. He's 100% a trade out next week. It's just the fact that I don't hate holding him this week, but he's got 109 break even. He's tipped to lose another 30 odd K. Canberra, the Cowboys have been shocking. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if they come out and have a good game, but like, yeah, he's got to be traded out. Like they don't play 16. They take on Penrith after the backup. They don't play 19. They got Dogs after the backup. Like, he's got to go. It's just a matter of, like, if I do this, then I'm not going to be able to get in. Like, worst case scenario, I won't be able to get in Tedesco and Latrell Mitchell next week if they both miss Origin. That's the kicker. Well, I mean, I could, but I'd be trading out Chance after a week, which would be insane. So I'm not going to do that. Fuck, now I'm torn. there's always so many options. And again, we don't need a number. Well, I guess either way, this brings a number in for 16 if we bring in CNK or Dallin. I think, like, CNK is definitely the better Supercoach player, but he's a lot more expensive. He's 200k. He's 200k more expensive, 250k more expensive, and he is taking up a fullback spot. Dallin is starting to hit his straps a little bit, but I guess at the same point, if Dallin goes well, Chance is always going to go well, but Chance can go well regardless of Dallin. That's the factor. Oh, dude, I'm torn. I'm honestly torn. Oh, man. Because, yeah, the fact that I like the idea of playing Wishart. If I bring in Dallin, I'm definitely gonna play him. Yeah, I'm definitely going to play him, but then I don't play Wishart, which doesn't feel right. So what is... Again, what's their draw? I mean, they take on... I mean, it's good for both. It's good for both. It doesn't really matter the draw. But then the other... Okay, so then the other factor, though, if I bring in Chance this week, that, like, I'm pretty much holding Chance till the end of the season is what I'm saying, right? Because it's definitely a waste to bring in Chance and then not play him or then trade him out after the buys because he only covers one major buy. Whereas Dallin... we can definitely just hold him for the season, whether or not he goes great or not. If Chance just goes average, and then Tom Trbojevic is back, you got Mitchell, you got Tedesco, you've got Dylan Edwards, like Ponga comes back. Like there's definitely better fullbacks than Chance. You know what? No, I'm not going to go Chance. I love it as a pickup, but long term, he's not going to be. You could bank the safe points for sure, but I do think there's better upside fullbacks than Chance. He could go on an absolute tear and blow it out, but I think Dallin, you get a piece of that Warriors attack if they fire. You can hold him for the season even if he's not going the best. You can just plug and play if needed, and he's still a good number to have. I think that's the play. Although, no, I think it is. Again, I was going to say I could just not do any trades, but I think you need a Warriors player for the upcoming couple of games at least, and then also to get on them for coverage as well. So I think that's just what we're going to do. We're going to hold Drinkwater. That's fine. We're not going to play Wishart. It is what it is. I mean, you never know. One of these guys could get ruled out. One of our back rowers. One of our centre wingers could get ruled out. You never know. So it's fine if we don't play Tyron Wishart this week against the Warriors. I don't hate not playing him. It's not like the worst. It's not the best matchup in the game going over to New Zealand for that one. So, yeah, that's fine. I think I'd rather play Dallin over. Would I rather? I don't know. It's going to be a fucking... That's the worst part of this, though. That's the worst part of this, is that I got to make the 50-50 call and they play each other. It's like, fuck, I don't know. Who do I play? Tyron just got 122, bruh. And I'm bringing in Dallin. It feels wrong not to bloody play him. Yeah. Is there anything else we could do to play both? Like, obviously, I'm not dropping Garrick. I mean, I don't have to play... you play Ero against the Dolphins. You got to play Ero, I think. You got to play Marnie. You got to play Young. You got to play Holmes. The back row... I mean, you don't have to play like a Cartwright against the Roosters. It's a bit of a... He's got save points. Fuck it, it's not that big a deal. Like, every 50-50 we made this year has been terrible, so who cares? It's probably going to work out bad, but that's the plan at the moment. I'm definitely not doing any more than one trade. I could do no trades again. I could do no trades, but I think getting one of those Warriors guys is pretty handy. I was going to say the other guy we could fucking try to get is Adam Fanor-Blake, but no, I surely he's going to lose a bit of cash, right? but yeah, other than that, I think the team's looking pretty solid. Like, I'm happy with how things are shaping up for the buys. Hopefully we can have a nice bounce back week. Hopefully Hines goes massive, like fucking huge, like 350. Hopefully, I would love like just a nice 120 to 150. Just give me something, bro. Give us something. Give us something that held Hines, please. Please, we need it. I need it for the Supercoach, man. We deserve some sort of big captain score. We desperately need it. But other than that, hopefully you guys are enjoying the content. Make sure to like and comment, and I'll see you guys in the next one.